Welcome back, guys, to part 2 Corvette C8 tutorial design. In part 1, we created our first surface, this surface here in the front, and then we're going to continue with creating this surface here that comes up, and then it will go down and it will create that. Well, some people call it the vampire tooth, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, so the surface don't have curvature in that direction like that. It's straight up. If we jump over to our second display state, and if you look at it, we just managed to create our triangle shape here. But we can go back here to these splines and then manipulate to add a little bit of curvature. We will probably do that in this tutorial, but first what I want to do is I want to create the rest of the bonnet part and then go from there, and then once we have all the bonnet, then we can add that curvature to these parts. So yes, we have some floating lines here that we can hide away, like this one here, and then I think that's enough if we just hide that one away, and there's nothing else that could give us a trouble. Maybe down here, that middle line, the center line, we can keep that, right? Okay, so let's continue and create this other part here. However, yesterday I pulled up a few pictures here that we can look at in terms of the bonnet of the some. I was trying to find some high definition pictures here as the best of my ability. So if we look at this one here, uh, there's probably a little bit of curvature, but we managed to create the V shape that we were looking for. I believe that the V shape that we introduced in our surface is not. I think it's a bit too sharp, so we might shallow out a bit, or we see how it works out once we create these sections here, and then if it works out, then we're going to leave it. If not, then we're going to make the curvature a bit shallower. Okay, so let's go ahead and create these parts here, which actually comes up in that direction there. So if we go back to the software here, and then we're going to sketch on the top plane, right? We're going to sketch on the top plane here, and then just press normal to profile, and then obviously it's gonna fall higher than the this edge here. So yeah, so let's create a spline here and then see how we get with that spline. So let's grab a spline here, and then we're gonna grab the spline from this edge here, and then as you can see, I'm not adding the spline to the corner because I will pull it up, and then pull it out all the way just to about here, a little bit over, just a tiny bit over. Yeah, like that. Exit that sketch, and then we're going to add a little bit of curvature to it, just a tiny bit, I mean not much, and then bring this up here a little bit, maybe somewhere here, something like that. It's not a whole lot of curvature that we introduced into that one. And now we can come into here and pull this point all the way up to the corner, and then now we have a perfect coincident relationship with the edge. Okay, so it kind of falls out a little bit here, so we can pull it in just a tiny bit, and then we can add a curvature comb to check our curve. uh, Maybe if we, let's make this a bit denser and scale it a bit. Let's scale it a bit up so we can see a lot better. And as you can see, that curvature don't have much curvature to it, and our curvature comb is showing us that we are on a right path here. So let's take out that curvature comb by click on it and press this. Press the tool button. And now that we have this curve, we're gonna go ahead and create a curve that will give us the profile for that spline that we're looking for. So this spline is going to be higher than this surface, this edge here. So let's exit this sketch, and then let's make a sketch on the front plane, and then we're going to press normal to profile. However, if you don't want to press normal to profile all the time, you can come over here in the options section, and then you can just select, you can find here something that says that automatically drops to, it will automatically drops to normal to profile without pressing the auto rotate. So there you go. So it's right here. So if you click on sketch and auto rotate view normal to sketch plane on sketch creation, if you tick that, it will automatically jump to that plane that you're trying to get. However, I don't like to do that. I like to make my own movement on that section, but it's something for you to look out for. Okay, so press OK on that. So as you can see, here is our first surface, and is our first surface. So that's up here, that's the middle part of the surface, and down here is the lower part. And then obviously we want to go higher now a little bit, because it does go higher. But let's have a look at our picture here. How much higher does it go? So it doesn't go up too much. Right. So yeah, so this is will go up. So let's have a look at that picture again. I have a feeling that this section here, is level with the edge of the this spline here, or maybe a little bit higher. So I have a feeling that it is a little bit higher. So let's keep in mind that it's going to be a little bit higher than the middle section here. So that gives us a good reference point of what we are looking for. So let's create that spline again, and instead of creating a spline, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to offset that curve, so everything stays nice, and we're staying with the curve, with the bonnet. So we're going to choose this edge, and then we're going to click reverse the projection, and then as we said, we want to make that just a little bit higher than the top of this section here. So let's try 5 mm and press enter. And let me just have a, yes, we are recording. Okay, good. So just a little bit higher. Yeah, so let's try with this one. And then press OK. Press OK. Let me see if we can stretch that. Oh yes, we can stretch it perfectly, and it stays in profile. So let's stretch it out a little bit so we have more room to work with. And let's stretch this side, this end out a little bit as well. Okay, so I'll press OK on that and exit the sketch. Okay, and then now we have these two curve that we create, and let's create our spline. So you need to get that tool. If you don't have it, you can get it from the drop down menu from here. I already showed you in part 1. So let's click that. Let's select sketch on sketch, and then we're going to choose this sketch and this sketch, and that created our spline, what we were looking for, I would say. Okay, let's zoom in here for a second. Let me press OK on that, and then let's jump over to a second display state here. And as you can see, the end of this spline, it falls very high to that point. From this point to this point, it's almost like it's vertical in that section. So let's have a look at our picture here, and then that's actually not the case, because if you look at that spline, that kind of goes, it's up here and it turns into flesh at the end, obviously. So we're gonna have to go back and fix that issue. And the way we're going to fix this issue is we're gonna go back to our future tree, and then trying to find our sketch. So it wasn't this one. It's in curvature. It wasn't this one. It must have been this one. And then click on that and say edit the sketch, and we're gonna say a normal to profile. It is indeed coincident with that corner, so that is in the good position. So what we need to edit is the one that is the straight one that we offsetted, the which is this sketch here. So let's edit this sketch, and then come over to this section here, and then right. So obviously offsetting this curvature to create our spline is not going to be good. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete this, delete our spline that we created. However, I want to keep one of the sketches that we made, because the lower one is a good sketch. Yeah, that one is a good one. So what I want to delete is this one here. So let's delete that. Let's delete. Okay, so let's delete the curve. Okay, and then now let's delete. You know what? Let's keep that, and then let's come in for our sketch again, and then let's jump over to our so guys, the thing is, I'm not basically I'm doing it as the way we go along. I'm not rehearsing or doing it off camera or off recording and then record it's. So basically I'm learning along with you, so we are learning together in that way. Okay, so let's create another sketch on the front plane here, and then press normal to profile. And then now that we have this curve, we can kind of use this curve a little bit. So let's grab a spline here, and I want my spline to be flush with this edge when it's starting and coming out to here. So I'm going to snip to this edge. As you can see, I'm not snipping to the corner, and then I'm just going to snip straight onto this point here, simply, very simply. So basically, simplicity is always the key here. So let's pull this point to the corner, and let's grab our spline here, and let's manipulate it the way we actually want it. Now that's it. That's the way we were meant to have it. So something like that, in that direction. So it turns flesh with that one. So let's try something like this, and press OK on that, and we can come back now later and manipulate this spline. So let's exit this sketch. Okay, and now let's create our projection curve now. So as again, sketch on sketch, and let's choose this end, that sketch, and then this sketch, and then now I can already see this is exactly the spline that we are looking for. So I'm gonna press OK on that, and then let's jump over to our second display state, and then this one looks a lot better. Okay, right. Yes. So let's check the spline that we created, and as you can see, this spline now is a lot better. It turns flash at the end of the bonnet. However, I'm still thinking that it might be a little bit too much. Let's have a look. Let's take the picture here. Let's take a picture here. Let's have a look at this picture here. And then, as you can see, it straightens into it a lot earlier. So let's go back and edit that sketch again. But now that we know that we're on the right path here. So the sketch that we need to edit is this one here. So let's edit that sketch again and press normal to profile. And let's just bring it down. Flash with this edge here. And I think that will give us the one that we're looking for. So exit that sketch, and then yes, now we are in a good position, hopefully, right? Okay, so now that we have that, let's try and do a let's add a 3D sketch here. So we're going to add a little bit of profile to this surface here. So let's go over to 3D sketch. Let me see if we're still recording here. Yes, we are. Okay, so let's jump over there to 3D sketch and grab a 3D spline. And I'm just going to snip one on the edge here and to this edge here. Press escape and then pull it down to this corner. Pull it down to that corner there. You know what? Instead, let's not add a curvature here at this point. Let's finish the bonnet instead first. Okay, and then we add our profiles once we have the bonnet completed. So right, let's do our surface. Let's come over to surface and choose boundary surface, and let's choose this spline here and this edge. Okay, and then we're not going to set direction to vector, tangents to phase, because we don't need to do that right now. So let's press OK, and then let's check our surface. That looks good to me, really good to me. Okay. All right. So let's mirror this over to the other end. So jump over to features, mirror, and for front plane, for mirror face plane, and choose bodies to mirror, and it dropped it right over to the other end. Great. So now we have our two surfaces on that section. So let's jump back to, let's hide this sketch for now. Okay, and let's jump back to our second display state here. And then let's have a look at what we got. Let's hide it. Hide that one as well. And then let's have a look at what we have. So click on the plane and click normal to profile. And as you can see, we need to trim back a little bit to get it to profile. So let's again add an appearance, and I'm going to choose glass again, and I'm going to choose blue glass, and I'm going to choose it on the whole part, right? Okay, so once we have that, now we can see where we need to trim. All right, so we're going to trim from this corner all the way out to that corner here, and then the rest of the part will go that way. Okay. However, what I'm thinking is, let's delete this mirrored surface here, so we don't have to do double work. So let's come into sketch on the top plane again, sketch, and then we're gonna grab a straight line, and then just gonna go from this edge to here, and then we're just gonna pull that all the way to that, so it's coincident, and then we're just going to find that edge that we are looking for. So the other part will probably start somewhere over here. Let's come down a little bit this way, so that's kind of straight like that. Okay, so let's check on that one, and then let's jump over to surfaces, trim surface, and we're going to keep this one and press OK, and we can continue with the bonnet on this section. So now if you want, we can hide this spline, and then we can jump to features, mirror, and then we're going to choose our front plane for mirror, and then bodies, and then jump over like that. Press OK on that. That so far is good. So right, so I'm not going to knit anything yet. Some people do, but I'm not going to knit together these surfaces yet, because we're not finished with the bonnet yet. So that's going to be in the next tutorial, and then hopefully you learned something from this tutorial, and then see you again in the next tutorial when we create some more body parts of this bonnet. Okay, see you, and I will leave blueprints eventually in the description. Okay, so take care.